when the House On-American Activities Committee wanted to know if you had political connections, you didn't want to answer, and that got you into some serious trouble.
This is because this group of people are actually, they're a group, in my opinion, a group of American fascists. Their idea of America is America where everybody agrees with them. Shira of Ohio was a supporter of the John Birch Society. Willis of Louisiana is a small town. Mr. Big, he married the daughter of the local sugar mill owner, and his idea of America is that small town where everybody knows their place and he's on top.
Everybody's heard about taking the Fifth Amendment. You took the first.
I didn't actually take any. Later on, my lawyer said that the only defense he could make of me was on the basis of the first.
Which guarantees?
That's the one guaranteeing freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of press, and religion. The Fifth Amendment, in effect, is saying you have no right to ask me this question. But I wanted to say you have no right to ask any American citizen this question. And I was challenging them on this broader basis. And a year later, the Congress cited me for contempt, along with Dr. Otto Nathan, who was Einstein's friend, and Arthur Miller, the playwright. I was in good company. They were acquitted long before I was, but my trial didn't take place for 5 years later. I was convicted first, although it was a strange trial. The judge excused the jury every time we had one of our witnesses on there. We had Congressman Walter on the stand and asked him, are you acquainted with the people that run this blacklisting outfit called Aware Incorporated? They published red channels and so on. He said, no, I've never met the man. One day later, we have the head of Aware Incorporated on the stand, said, have you ever met Congressman Walter? He says, yes, I went down to Washington to see him. So he had a long interview with Walter. Well, there was Walter caught right in perjury, but the jury had been excused during all of that.
You were convicted and sentenced
to a year in jail, but a year later I was acquitted by the appeals court.
Now, there were, at one point, just before you were either sentenced or convicted, you asked leave to sing a song in court.
Yeah, you see, one of the songs they wanted to know if I'd sung is a good song. It's called Wasn't That a Time? I think it's a highly patriotic song. But he wanted to know if I had sung it at this certain place. And meanwhile, they had come in with all kinds of statements about this was a terrible, treasonous place full of traitors. And they weren't asking me anything about that. They just said, have you sung there? Well, it's like, supposing I come out with a statement that a certain place, supposing, is there a restaurant you've eaten at recently? Supposing we'll call it Purple Potato.
Okay.
You went to Purple Potato to have a drink. Now, I come out with a statement, Purple Potato is full of traitors, and I give all kinds of evidence. Now, I don't even ask you about that, whether it's true or not. I say, were you ever at the Purple Potato? You see? And if you say yes, why, right away you're associating yourself with all these traitors. So I said, oh, look here, I said, I've sung in all kinds of places. I've sung for right and left wing. It's true. I've sung for just about every political party you could think of. Most musicians have. I'd say the average musician figures they will sing for anybody that wants to listen to them. And if the John Birch Society wanted me to sing for them, I'd sing for them. It was a good song. In fact, I'd say it's a great song. And I wanted to sing it for the judge. No. Take them away, he said. They led me away in handcuffs because they wouldn't even let me out on bail while I was on appeal. And my lawyer was shocked he wasn't prepared. He had to scurry around. And it was the only time I spent behind bars. I went downstairs for about 6 hours while my lawyer was scurrying around and getting bail. And it was a room about 16 feet across with 5 or 10 people coming in and out who were awaiting trial and or waiting to go to prison. And we were all served lunch, and there was a prisoner next to me opening his sandwich and his apple, and he was saying, and if that judge believes what I say, I'll be off at break of day. And another one says, not if he sees your record, he won't.
It's kind of necessary to fit into the best tradition of American folk singers to have spent some time behind bars.
Yeah, my daughter says it's too bad Pop didn't go to jail. Alan Lomax could have gone and collected folk songs from him.
Our fathers bled at Valley Forge. The snow was red with blood, their faith was warm. At Valley Forge their faith
that a time? Wasn't that a time? A time to try the soul of man. Wasn't that a terrible time? Wasn't that a terrible time?
Brave men who fought at Gettysburg now lie in soldiers' graves, but there they stand, the rebel tide, and there the faith was saved.
Wasn't that a time? Wasn't that a time? Wasn't that a time? A time to try the soul of man. Wasn't that a terrible time? Wasn't that a terrible time?
The madmen came with chains and war to prison us in hate, and many a good man fought and died to save the stricken faith.
Wasn't that a time? Wasn't that a time? Wasn't that a time? A time to try the soul of man. Wasn't that a terrible time? Wasn't that a terrible time?
And now again the madmen come, and shall our victory fail? There is no victory in a land where free men go to jail.
Isn't this a time? Isn't this a time? A time to try the soul of man. Isn't this a terrible time? Isn't this a terrible time?
Our faith cries out,
They shall not pass. We cry no pass or run. We pledge our lives, our honor all to free this prison land. Isn't this a time? Isn't this a time? Isn't this a time? A time to free the soul of man. Isn't this a wonderful time? Isn't this a wonderful time?